We're back. You don't say. We're talking about triggers? About things that just absolutely piss you off today? Triggers. Things that make you angry. Things that do not bring you joy. The fact that my internet just went out again. Not necessarily a trigger, but definitely does not make me happy. I guess it is a trigger. It is a trigger. Definitely a trigger. So I switched over to my phone. I don't think that it was 100% necessarily the fact that I was playing certain music in the background. But who knows? Anyway, seeing how internet is being funky today, let's speed things up here on this video. I had a conversation today, and that conversation regarded things that we've done in our lives as a result of things that we've done in the past as children, in our childhood, in the lives that we have had in the past, and the things that we've done in the past. And I'm setting this up on a tripod, so sorry. But hopefully the video is good enough. But anyway, so thinking about things that have happened in the past regarding activities, us growing up as kids and learning certain things from our parents, and you know, talking about things that we did when we were kids, like suppression versus depression. That was one of those things that I had talked about, and we've heard my take on suppression versus depression, and how our behaviors as young adults and as parents changes as people as we grow older, and our identifications with people when we're younger, and the behaviors that we have. When we're younger, we develop a friendship circle and a group of friends, and we develop this cyclical monotony of friendships, and that those people we identify with. And as we get older, we maintain those behaviors and we maintain those thought processes. And early teens, it becomes those things where, oh, I'm so depressed, and they're not depressed. And what bothers me is medicated America, and I'm not going to get into that whole topic today. I've already had a broadcast on it. I've already had a broadcast on triggers too, but here's the thing. When I was younger, and I had a crappy week at school, or I had a crappy work night, I would partake in behaviors, or I would partake in instances that were not really acceptable to society for someone who was at the age of 15, 16 years old. When I speak of that, I'm talking about using alcohol or drugs or whatever it was. And I learned as I've gone through my adult life that a lot of times in my life, those things too have carried into that. So when I have justified things in the past, of I had a really bad night at work, I'm just going to get wasted. I really look at those things on a regular basis, and I think about those things and about how many times I partook just because of the past behaviors and the way that I resolved issues in the past. So we think about that now, and it's like, well, if we don't think about those things, then we don't participate in those activities that created chaos in the first place. But if we do participate in those things, then we're grown adults and we can make those decisions. So, does that justify things? No. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sidetracking the fact that I've lost this feed 3 times tonight already, and it's like, well, I mean, what do you do about it? You suck it up and you move on, and you keep going. But if we start talking about 2 triggers of the past and things that we've done, how do you deal with situations that are beyond your control? How do you deal with problems that arise in your life when you are working towards sober life, or when you are working towards normal day-to-day life. What I'm going to say on this is, what causes a person to have a cigarette? We'll use that one because it's justifiable. What causes a person to have a cigarette? Oh, well, I'm stressed out right now. I'm going to go outside and have a smoke. It's a justifiable trigger. And that justifiable trigger materializes into a use of something that's legal but not illegal, and unless you're underage, of course, but you're participating in a trigger, you're participating in an activity that is illegal or legal but not healthy, but it's a victimless trigger. If I choose to smoke, it's only going to affect me and those people that are immediately around me. It's not going to affect the people outside of the vehicle or outside of my 100-foot radius or whatever. It's not going to affect those people. But it still causes harm. If we take that same thought philosophy and we address it towards other things like alcohol, that can affect other drivers on the road, that can affect people at the liquor store, that can affect people in your household. But what causes a person to drink? What causes a person to smoke? What causes a person to gamble? What causes a person to do any of these activities? And that's compulsive behavior. And that compulsive behavior is a result of a trigger or a life-altering event. And when we think about the trauma response to things that have happened in our lives, starting at a very young age and working their way through life, the trauma response is realistically a opportunity to call it something familiar, such as a trigger. Trauma response, the activity that follows the trauma response, is considered a trigger. And triggers don't necessarily have to be immediate, small little things. They can be big things too. And now, I'm not saying that you also have to have a trigger and then as a result you have to go use drugs or you have to go use alcohol. It could be just a matter of changing your attitude and being a dick to people. You know, you hear one thing or you read one thing or you see one thing, and it can affect the entire part of your day. I guess ultimately, folks, what I'm trying to do here is make people more aware of the fact that these triggers are out there, and these triggers can create a difference in behavior. And as a result of that, the people that respond or the people that see the result of that trigger in your actions or your behaviors develop their own thought and their own opinion on your reaction to that particular situation. So those behaviors are avoided by those people that care, or those triggers are avoided by those people that know. Like, for example, if your boss knows that you're going to get upset about being out of printer paper, they make sure to either A, have printer paper for you, or B, make sure to let you know before it comes to the point where you need printer paper. Hey, you might be out of printer paper for a couple of days or a couple of hours or whatever until the delivery gets here. That's fine. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. But you go and grab that last piece of printer paper and you're like, where's all my printer paper? And you get angry. It can be considered a trigger. Now you're in a shitty mood for the rest of the day. And not only affects you, but it affects your work and it affects all those around you. So, and we can all relate to that in our driving capacities, vehicles. We can all relate to that in day-to-day life in general. We can relate to that as parents. We can relate to that as boyfriends and girlfriends. We can relate to that as spouses. We can relate to that in a lot of different capacities. But we don't think about that. We don't think about those triggers. We don't think about the result of our behavior. We don't think about that stuff until it's either A, too late, or B, until we've already dropped the bomb. So that was a quick one, times 3. The second one took a little less time because it kicked me off the internet right away. But yeah, I'm sorry that the broadcasts are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I keep getting sidetracked. It's not good for any of us when I get sidetracked on these broadcasts. But on the flip side, maybe it does cut things down a little bit for everybody and gets us to move a little bit quicker in our day. So I do appreciate everybody stopping in, hanging out with me for a little while, letting me vent or or present certain information to those people out there. If I didn't do this every single week, I probably would be a Blevy, and I would explode and just be a grumpy Gus. And that's my nickname, is Gus, for those who didn't know, among the other nicknames that I have. But if I didn't have an outlet, which I have many outlets, but this is my weekly outlet, and I think about things throughout the week, about how things go, and about how I'm going to approach these broadcasts. And when I lost the feed on the computer, I immediately jumped back into panic mode and tried to make things better, and tried to get right back on the air, because you guys are sitting there looking at this going, what the heck's going on? But on your end, you're looking at it at the phone, and then you see the feed died. On my end, I see my computer go blank and everything just shut down on me. And it's like, what the fuck? So, wrapping things up right now. I will say this, next week, extra special broadcast. As long as he doesn't forget, and as long as I don't forget, and as long as the planets align and everything happens, I will be co-hosting the Gumball Head video with Vinny, or Vincent Brigance, from Kalamazoo Hypnosis. And we're going to be talking about meditation and hypnosis. And I don't know if he knows it yet or not, and hopefully he does. And hopefully he's going to watch this video at some point between now and then. But we're going to discuss the benefits of meditation and hypnosis. We're going to discuss the similarities and the substantial differences between meditation and hypnosis. And we're going to bounce things off of each other. And maybe this will be a good creation of something that is yet to come on Gumball Head, and that is having videos co-hosted with other professionals in the field. So, looking forward to that. It's a little something different, a little something exceptional. Seeing how nobody is sending me any emails and telling me what they want for topics. We're just going to go ahead, and next week I will announce the winner of the men's polo from Demons Behind Me. And if they don't want it, it'll go to the next person. But I'm going to put everybody's name in a box, and I'm going to shake it up, and I'm going to pull it out. And that's human speak for I'm going to have the name generator produce a name for me and creatively come up with a name for somebody who wants free stuff from Gumball Head. So, and that gift was donated to us from one of the viewers. The tank top and the polo were donated to us from one of our viewers as a result of winning the card. So, thanks guys for watching. We're going to go ahead and zoom out of here, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Look forward to seeing you. Kind of funny how things work when I've got different things happening here. But there's my outro music, so we all know that things are about to jive. I love you guys. See y'all next week. Stay strong. Stay focused. Stay sober. I love this song. Namaste, guys.